Well, it is the last game of the season, and we have clinched first place. We are in Champions League football next season, and that is really, really cool. Milan Vardar leads us with 20 goals. Emil Abaz has a 7.44 rating and the most assists at 15. Best forward Arifi has the best pass completion at 96%, but for a defensive center back, you can't expect that. Abaz has 7 players of the match award. Darko Masevsky had 7 yellow cards. In 32 matches, our 77 goals are the best in the league. We set a new team record with that. There are 29 goals allowed is second best. 42 yellow cards is the fourth best in the league. Our 6,071 attendance is the best in the league. Currently, money-wise, we could be better. We're almost $700,000. We're almost 700,000 pounds in debt. Our loss this season is 305,000 pounds. And our transfer budget and wage bill for next season is not that great. We have 167,000 of the transfer budget. Our wage budget is 22,428. Now we're spending 10,000, so I could tweak that up some, but I will be 100% honest with you. After the Georgi Jankulov deal, I'm kind of wary of going out and spending money, especially when stuff like this is happening. So, yeah, he's 3.5-star current ability. He's 5-star potential ability, 21 years old. He's still got a couple more years of improvement left in him, but I definitely overpaid for him. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking I had the money, so why not buy him? I haven't heard anything about a takeover for a while, so I doubt that is happening anytime soon. This offseason is going to be interesting because it's when a lot of planning for the future is going to take place, and if I make a mistake, it could come back to bite us. And like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, this year's transfer window is not helping me in that regards. So after beating Rabbit Nicky 3-0, we beat Renova 5-1. Vadic had a goal, Abaz had a hat-trick's worth of goal, Jankulov had a goal. We beat Borek 3-2, Abaz a goal, Vadic a goal, and then Maradi a goal. And then I'm not going to say it's a bad streak. I ended up playing a lot of guys who we drew with Tickfest, we drew with Balasica, we beat Bregelnaka 2-0, Vadic a goal, Masevsky a goal in the 93rd minute. Against Skandija, we drew with them 0-0, and this is when we won the league. Against Macedonia, we absolutely thumped them 4-0. Vadic a brace of goals, Abaz a goal, Velkovsky a goal. So we're playing Struga today. They are currently in 7th place. They don't really have much to play for. So what I'm actually thinking of doing is playing the youngsters. And by playing the youngsters, I mean playing my youngsters. So let's go there real quick. And we're going to clear the entire team selection. Milan Vadic is now 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. Going to get Marian Ristov on the field. Baysar Gajufi. Jordan Vaj. Gose Joseph is my young keeper who has potential, but the 16-year-old we got today, or the 16-year-old rather we got in this year's youth intake, is probably going to be the goalkeeper of the future. Darko Stogovsky will put a defensive left back. Ivanov at DM. Put Griffin on the bench. I don't want to start any 16-year-olds. And Griffin, I'm kind of wondering about because he's a foreign player. Next year, we're not allowed foreign players on the squad. That's one of the things. I got all these scouting recommendations for all these really good young foreign players, and it's like I don't want to sign you because I may not be able to play you, sort of thing. Okay, we'll stick Arifi on the bench. Nikolaev. We will start. And Dosky will put on the bench. We'll start Jankulov. Maradi there. We'll put Illich on the bench. Put Grosdanowski on the bench. We'll put a Boz on the bench. So that's the thing. I have a bunch of 16 and 17-year-olds, and a lot of the 17-year-olds I have just are not that good. So we'll take a look at them after the season here. And I can't start Marathi because he is knackered. So we will bring on Partalko. Jankulov is also knackered, so we'll bring on you know what, we'll bring on a 16-year-old, Victor Petrovsky. We'll bring on Stefanovsky rather, at defensive right back, if only because he has not played a lot of games. He's match fit. Ivanov. You know what? We'll bring on Masevsky just to get some experience in the field. We'll bring Jankulov up. Take Griffin's spot. We'll get those guys training for now, and then we'll take a look at this again. We got Struga in 4 days. So by that time, a lot of the guys who are not match fit should be match fit. So we may juggle some of the bench around a little bit, but we'll be back with that here in just a second. Okay. And of course, the youth team had a game. So we'll bring on Jankulov. Gajufi had a game, so we'll bring on Abaz. Guys had a fabulous season. Be kind of a shame not to start them. They're playing a 4-2-3-1 with 2 defensive midfielders, 3 advanced midfielders in the center, and a striker. If it works for him, it works for him. Oh, we give the ball away. Bruno, back to Yaleski. Up to Kovacevic. Trimau. He breaks right. Holds it up, crosses it in. Stefanovsky knocks it away, but it goes right to Lupsch. To Trajeski. Sakiri. Ramau. Sakiri. Trajeski. Bosanchik. Bruno. Oh, nice. That was a good move. And who is texting me this late at night? Teleski. Sends it forward. Bosanchik. Back to Lupsch. Trajeski. Jeez. Sakiri. Bosanchik. Ramau. And he scores far post. His first goal of the season. Come on, guys. We can do this. I mean, granted, it's a young squad. It's a partially rotated squad, but I've still got good players on the field. And they've had 2 shots, 2 on target, and 2 goals as a result. Interesting. We'll go to the attack here, see if that helps. No, we got a shot. A lot of guys having substandard games. Stefanovsky. Ristov. Back to Stefanovsky. Crosses it in. Abaz is there off the crossbar, and he follows up and gets his 17th goal of the season. I have to cough real quick. Vardar had 20 goals. Well, we'll take a look at this after the end of the season when we do the player roundup. But yeah, we've spread the wealth quite well. I mean, this is our 78th team goal of the season, and our top 2 players have 37. So you know we're doing something right. And my hair is all over the place, isn't it? Holy cow, Jellicoe. At this point, I'm just glad to have most ahead of her anyways. So Stavkovsky to Partalko, Abaz. Back to Stavkovsky. Masevsky. Partalko. Up into space, Abaz. Centers it. Vardar is there, and we equalize right before the half. His 21st goal of the season. He keeps having... He has another season like this with us. There's going to be teams coming after him, and they're going to be paying good money for him. And unless we get some financial help, that may be the only way we solve the money issues we have with the club. Not that I want to sell him. It's halftime. 6 shots, 3 on target for Struga. 5 shots, 3 on target for us. It's a pretty even game. They've won more headers, though. Kind of been focusing on the left side of the field, and we shouldn't be unless I miss something. You know what? We can check that out here shortly because it's 60 minutes in, so we're going to make a couple subs real quick. We're going to first one. Skovsky will have to get off. We'll bring on Ilyevsky. Baj will bring off. We'll bring on Andonovsky. Masevsky will bring off and bring on Arifi. Baz, Partalko. Back to a Baz, centers it to Masevsky. Andonovsky. Masevsky, Jankulov. Oh, Ristov is there. Vardar. A very nice play by this Struga defender. It was this guy, right? Oh, I lost who it was. Corner kick in, knocked away, and that's the highlight. It's an interesting formation. Ramau. Osanchik. Oh, Kovacevic. Oh, nice defensive play by Arifi to stick a leg out and deflect the ball. Corner kick for Struga. Send it in, off the crossbar, knocked away. Ramau's going to run it down. Too many bodies in front of the goal. No one knew what to do. Zakiri. Back out to Oleski. And that's the highlight. And that is the game. It ends on a draw. 2 quick goals by Struga in the first 2 minutes of the game, and we equalize with 2 goals right before the end of the first half. 13 shots, 5 on target for Struga, 10 shots, 4 on target for us. It's not a loss, so I'm okay with that. And the youngsters, they did about as well as could be expected. We honestly, we didn't have anything to play for in this game other than players not getting injured. And I'm okay with that. So we're going to save this really quick. We are going to look at the players here. I got to pull up my squad view. That's my tactics view. If we go and we sort by appearances. So Gosevsky had 35 appearances, 1 assist, 1 player of the match, and he had a really good season for us as a keeper, 7.11 overall rating. Vardar, or Emil Baz rather, player of the year. He has to be. 17 goals, 16 assists, 8 players of the match. Mirmorati, 13 goals, 6 assists, 3 players of the match. Vardar had 21 goals, 7 assists, 4 players of the match. Jankulov, 3 goals, 5 assists, 1 player of the match. Andonovsky, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 players of the match. Mike Sikarsky, 5 assists. David Velkovsky, 6 goals, 12 assists, 2 players of the match. Jovanovski had 3 goals, 6 assists, 1 player of the match. And then Partalko had 4 goals, 2 assists, and player of the match. If I was to sort by, well, let me go here real quick. That really didn't work because it is after the game. The guys I wanted to focus on are knackered. So, we had some decent rotation going on as well. Grosnowski, 14 appearances off the bench. Partalko, 12 appearances off the bench. 20-6, 24-6, 24-7. I did tend to rely on my starters quite a bit, and they rewarded me by staying fairly healthy. The other thing I wanted to look at was my U18s. They had another really good season. I mean, they finished second in their league. And as you can see, some of the players there had some very good seasons. Griffin Wotan had 12 goals. Sesko Ivanov had 6 shutouts in between the sticks. And he came in this year. He's my 15-year-old keeper, for crying out loud. So seven shutouts in 10 games against, I would say, similar competition. That's really good. And that takes me to what we're going to be dealing with here the next couple of seasons. Let's sort by age here real quick. So everybody essentially from 18, well, probably Gosevsky's going to stay here. Masevsky, I would like to keep if his salary demands are not all that high. Right now he's earning $375. I could go up to probably $600 for him. Sikarsky's at $425. He'll probably be leaving. Stefanovsky will be leaving. Players like Illich, I'll move. Grosdanovsky, I'll move. The others, I'll keep. Iceni, I'll probably move. And then of the youth players, it's going to be a lot of the 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are two-star current ability or, two gray star ability and their potential ability is less than 3 stars. We'll move them on. And these coming seasons are going to be a balancing act between getting the youngsters starts. Like Ristov needs to start some games. Ivanov needs to start some games. Vardar is going to be my starting striker until he's not, which makes me want to check something out. He's not wanted just yet. I need to try and find another lower league youth team. I need to try and find another affiliate. The one we have now is 4th division, and I can't get anybody to move there because they don't want to go. I mean, they're not the best. So if I can find a club in the 2nd division that I can send the guys to next season, I will do that. We need to improve the coaching squad. We need to improve the physios and that, but that's also a work in progress. It's going to come down to if I sort by ability right now, what it's going to come down to is getting potential ability. That's what I want to sort by. It's coming down to getting these players here off the records, trading them out for money, sending them out for money. Dario Jovanovski, he's a good player right now, but he's not going to be great. And that's what I'm looking for. I can move him on for some money. But players like Petresky, Janevsky, do I have a contract? I know I have a contract view. So Stepanovsky, I see Jovanovski and Illich are leaving at the end of the season. So we might lose a little bit of money on Jovanovski. If can I add this in here? Current ability. Potential ability. Guys like Trajkov, I have to move. Savatoski, I have to move. These players right here, all my D and F players, I have to move. They've not improved. They haven't shown they're going to improve. They've shown that these ratings that I've given them are probably more correct than not. I'll hold on to Babunski because he's 16 years old. But if these players were going to be anywhere this good, they would be out of the grays and into the yellow. Even a half-star yellow, I would let them stay. But, it's going to be a balancing act going forward because we need a squad that remains competitive. Players like Marati, players like Gasevsky, I need to get players like Partalko and Jovsev game time so they improve. They start reaching that 4 and 5-star potential. Vardar had a really good season where he improved quite a bit. So I need to work on things like that. Now, the nice thing is I've got the wage budget to do that. And, I'll search the free agents and I'll search who's out there, but I've got to get a deal on them. This paying $500,000 for a player is just, it's nuts. I don't know what I was thinking when that happened. I needed an offensive right back, and he was the best one available, and it was like, okay, we're going to go for him. And I overpaid. There's no two ways about it. And there are some rules changes next season, too. There's no foreign players. So I don't know if the ones that are on teams are grandfathered in. I couldn't find any. I went online and I looked, and I went to the forums and looked, and I couldn't find any information on that. So one of the things I like to think I'm good at is going out and finding all these youth players who are really good and can be really good and developing them. So I don't know that I can do that. Not with this save. Next year's save, I will. They gave a Boz a C. They gave Marati an A. Jankulov, they gave an F. Yeah, I totally agree with that. $500K for him was way too much. They didn't even stick around to snuggle afterwards. That's how I knew I was getting a raw deal. quite sure what's going on here. Spacing issue with the font. A very good season for us. 22 wins, 8 draws, 3 losses. The biggest win was the 6-0 against Macedonia. The match to remember was the 3-0 against Rabbit Nicky, and the goal of the season was Glisic's goal in the 57th minute against Macedonia. He just absolutely blasted it from 23 yards out, and it was really, really good. Money-wise, we were up in all the categories. A lot of that was due to the fact we had a little bit more broadcast money. Our corporate and hospitality went up due to more fans. We lost out on the prize money. Matchday commercial and retail was up because we had more fans in the seats. Sponsorship, we were up a little bit. And then this is our best 11. And it's a good formation for us. We got the players for it. Now, at the same time, I am also not afraid to take the formation and make it fit the players we have. I'm not one of those guys. I used to think I was one of those guys who was wedded to a certain formation, and I was going to get players to fit that. And then, especially with the Palace save last season and the one I'm still playing offline, it was like, okay, where can my players play and what formation best fits them? And it's been interesting, to say the least. So, fans player of the season was Emil Abaz. Young player of the season was Amir Murati. Signing of the season was Emil Abaz. Darko Glicic had the goal of the season. Milan Vardar had 21 goals. Emil Abaz, 16 assists, and 8 players of the match. And he had the highest rating at 7.5. Now, we did not get any competition awards. So, Vardar broke the record for most goals in the season at 21, and then again at 19. I'm not quite sure why there's 2 there. Tied the record for most goals in a match. Most assists in the season, Abbas set the record there. Most player of the match awards, Abbas set the records there. Masevsky had 7 yellow cards. Petrovsky, my young midfielder, was the youngest player at 16 years and 87 days and the highest transfer fee. That's just, it's going to haunt me. Borzalay with the club's vision and progress. Let's take a look at the statistics here. General performance-wise, we absolutely dominated the league. Well, we were a little off in tackles, but I'm okay with that. Attacking-wise, 2.39 goals per game, 1.98 expected goals per game, 17.12 shots per game, 42% of our shots on ratio is 7.5 dribbles. Cross completion 23%. That's a little bit below the league average. Pass completion was above. Fouls against was above. Passing wise, lots of passes, accurate passing, as opposed to a team like Scandija. Who else was up there? Scoopy and Academica Pandev. Opposition long range shots. Looks like they didn't have any long-range goals this season. That doesn't seem right. Attacking efficiency, aggressive shooting, clinical shooting. That's really, really good. So, club visions and expectations. Okay. Solid soccer, defensive soccer, high pressing tempo first half. Okay, we're going to accept that current vision. Dynamics-wise, we're doing well. It could be a little bit rocky next season if like Masevsky and possibly Glicic leave and a season team meeting. Okay. Under promise and over deliver. Told the guys we'd finish top half. Said we want to give a good count of ourselves in the Champions League. So we first path Champions Cup path first qualifying round. So if we go and look here. So this is where we're going to be in the first qualifying round. There's some good teams there. Freaking Legia Warsaw ends up in the first qualifying round. That is almost a crime. As good as a team as they are, Poland is just not doing well in the world rankings. Ishike, Ludogorets, Stoya Bucharest, Shaft Rasipol, Minsk, Ferencváros, Sparta Prague. It depends on who we draw. I would like to try and at least get to a nice round, second or third qualifying round. It's going to depend on the draw. First preliminary round is 84K. Second preliminary round is 84K. Third is 84K. Then it goes up. It's only when you reach the group stage that you start talking about the millions. But yeah, we got our work cut out for us. So we're going to save the game here. We're wrapping up the second season. Now, things really start to get interesting. This is when training and that is really going to come into effect and start paying more attention to that and the results there. Right now, especially with the youngsters, it's just been an overview mostly on their physicals. They're under the same training regimen as this team is, so we're training the same things every week. So hopefully we'll start seeing improvements there, start getting a rotation going next season, bringing some players up to the senior squad. And if our under 18 squad suffers as a result of that, then they suffer as a result of that. I'm looking for results on the field, and it's gonna be interesting. So it's gonna be an interesting off season. I'm gonna try and be better with the scouting and who we pick up, and I'm gonna try and be better with the money. Because Lord knows if I'm not, this is gonna be a very, very short save. So that said, winning the league was very nice, and we did really well, and I'm quite happy. May not look like it, but I really am. So if you did like what you seen and heard, George Harry, glasses right there, jeez. Anyhow, if you did pick what you seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM22, and thank you very much for watching.